Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology.
Hello and welcome to this video tutorial for Photoshop beginners. This is E.Senthil Kumaran, Assistant Professor, Department of Visual Communication, Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology, deemed to be University. Now, Photoshop is a creative program. In Photoshop, we copy, paste, duplicate, erase, colors, enhance and transform. But what exactly we are copying, pasting, duplicating, erasing, color enhancing and transforming. In this tutorial, I want to discuss the basic principles of how images are represented and existed in Photoshop. If you are new to Photoshop, this will give you a good foundation of knowledge. This will also help you to understand various other factors as we move on in this course. So, to help demonstrate the following principles, I am going to use this image here. If you wish to follow along, you can find this image in the introduction folder in the project folder. So, with the project folder open, click the introduction rasterized image and open the raster image document inside, and you should have something that looks like this. So, every time you open a Photoshop or a raw image in Photoshop, you are essentially working with a raster image. Put simply, a raster image is made with many little square pixels. Together, these pixels build up a picture which we see in Photoshop. Now, if I zoom right on this image here, we can begin to see some of the square pixels that are making up this image. So, we can see here that this image is made of many pixels with many unique colors. Photoshop manages these pixels and allows us to modify and arrange them in various ways, which allows us to create work of all kind. Now, when we work with raster image, there are a few things you need to keep in mind, such as the limitation of working with raster images. First limitation is scaling. Now remember, a raster image is made of a particular number of square pixels. If we scale an image down like so, we will retain visual clarity to a certain degree. But by defining or by definition, when you scale a raster image down, you are simply removing pixels to decrease the dimension of the overall image. So, this image I start with is now smaller on the canvas area. It may not contain as many pixels as it did a second ago, but we can still see clearly what the image is now if we scale this back up and above the threshold of the original size. Photoshop will create additional pixels to the accommodated for the new size. The result of this is that the image quality have been compromised and appear distorted. We can see here the image is not quite as clear or legible as the original. It is looking pretty blurry around the edges. Here a term often used to describe this is a pixelated. As a rule of thumb, you always want to avoid scaling images up above the original threshold to avoid your image becoming pixelated and losing quality. When using images in Photoshop, we must always seek the highest quality to work with. This will ensure quality result. So that the beginning principle of raster images. As a beginner, understanding the principle of the raster images is very important, as this will help you understand various other factors that are important and crucial to know in Photoshop. As we start to work with images in Photoshop, it is also very important to understand image size, dimension and resolution. What this means and how this works in Photoshop. In this tutorial, we have seen about image representation and existence in Photoshop. We will be seeing about the image size, image dimension and image resolution in the upcoming video.